Okay, let's kick it off and we'll let Mark Hillard of Evonik log in, or Soban Evonik log in when he can get access to the internet. Welcome, everybody. It is this year's version of Manufacturing Day, again, a virtual version rather than an in-person version. And we hope next year to get back to in-person visits to our employers in the region. But during our times of COVID, this is the best we can do this year to expose you to the opportunities available in manufacturing in Lenawee County. So welcome to Manufacturing Day. We're going to kick it off with some introductory videos. We've got a welcome from the ISD and then a welcome from Lenawee Now, our economic development partners. And then we'll have each company introduce, we'll show a company video and then have each company introduce themselves. And then we'll get into Q&A. And if you've got any questions from the attendees out there that you want to have answered, go ahead and put them in the chat box. It's in the lower right corner of the screen. So with that, let's kick off the welcome from Kyle Griffith of the LISD.
Welcome to Manufacturing Day. It's a great opportunity for two parts, the students and those in business and industry. First of all, for the students, we are so excited that you're joining Manufacturing Day. Another great opportunity to check out what's going on in business and industry to a deeper level. I think you probably heard some stories and some insights over the years, maybe from your parents or grandparents or friends or other members of your family around what does exist and what does the business industry look like. But this is your chance to really dig in deep and ask questions, follow up with facilities, follow up with those that you meet. If you want to go farther, take another tour with your family, find out some more, and really dig into what all is entailed in business and industry here in Lenawee County. For business and industry, it's a day to shine. It's a great opportunity for business and industry to put their best foot forward and show the future what great opportunities exist with business and industry, from fully funded scholarship opportunities to help students develop as they look at maybe careers within the business and industry itself, or to grow into other career aspirations that they're looking at. So twofold, this is a beautiful opportunity for both the students and business and industry to come together, collaborate, and look at all the possibilities that exist here in Lenawee County. I want to thank all those business and industries that have signed up to participate, dedicated time to this, and for the students' sake, sit up, pay attention, ask questions, and really dive into the details. For that, have a great day, enjoy Manufacturing Day, and thanks again for your participation.
Thank you, Kyle. And next we have a short video from Jim Van Doren of Lenawee Now.
Hello, I'm Jim Van Doren, the Executive Director of Lenawee Now. Lenawee Now is the economic development arm for our communities and our local businesses. So we look at today as a great opportunity for all of us to come together. Welcome to Manufacturing Day. Today allows you to review some of the companies here available in Lenawee County and the types of jobs that we have in Lenawee County. And that helps us to create a talent pool, while it helps you identify the skills to work locally. So we think the future is bright here in Lenawee County for our businesses and for job opportunities. And we would like you to stay locally in Lenawee County. So enjoy your day, learn about our companies and our businesses, and hopefully someday in the future we'll see you working in Lenawee County.
Okay. And thank you to Jim Van Doren for submitting that video. Okay, and today we have 4 companies represented in our AM session. We have representatives from each of those companies. We have Mark Kramer from Anderson Development Company, Mark Hillard from Evonik Corporation, or Soban Evonik, and Mike Ayer from Vacra Chemical Corporation, and Shannon Rios from W2 Fuel. And each of those will have a chance to introduce themselves and their company. My name is Jack Townsley with the LISD Tech Center, and I am the Supervisor of Placement Services and Adult Learning Services for the Tech Center. And again, thank you for coming today. With that, let's show our company video. And this is a video that we put together as a group of 5 companies that are working together to promote the chemical industry in Lenawee County. And this video was produced with the help of all 5 companies, really to promote their opportunities. And we want to get this video out to as many students in Lenawee County as possible. And this is a great opportunity to do just that. So let's watch our chemical video.
Chemistry is used for everything. It's everywhere, the world around us.
We are creating the products that are going to keep us safe tomorrow.
Really, when you look at what we're doing, we are providing a service for society.
Chemistry programs in Lenawee County really all started at Adrian College. There were some great scientists that were developed there under Dr. Peel, and they went on to create multiple chemical manufacturers here in Lenawee County. So there's a real legacy of chemical manufacturing in Lenawee County thanks to those scientists that came out of Adrian College.
We live in Adrian and Lenawee County. For a county of 100,000 people, we've got a huge impact in the world. People don't realize the impact that what we make in this county in the business of chemistry, how it affects people, and how it touches all their lives.
We make what's called TIOS, tetraethylorthosilicate. It goes in a broad range from coatings industry to the semiconductor industry to now insulation that we're getting into. Several different facets it goes into.
We take a soybean oil and we convert it through a chemical process into a diesel fuel that runs in a diesel engine.
We have silicone in so many different applications. We have food grade silicones, we have commercial silicones.
We make supplements and nutrition for companion pets as well as equine. Even on the human side, people are taking more of an aggressive approach to their own health.
We have a piece where we supply into the automotive business, but we also have a piece that goes into sporting goods, into farming equipment, into drugs. By being a little more diversified, we can be a lot more stable over the long term.
I was a little bit skeptical about working with chemicals, but after going through the interview process, going through the training, I knew that this company was doing things the right way. They're doing things safely, and I was more than excited to jump on board and make a movement to come here.
So with chemistry, what's really interesting is I love answering the why and how. It's always fascinated me how, like, a simple thing is like adding Kool-Aid to water. How does this mixture automatically disappear and you get a new color and you have all these flavors incorporated? It was something that just fascinated me, and it was something that I just wanted to further myself and really educate myself and ultimately pursue a career in it, just because it's something that's, honestly, it's out of this world to me, and it's something that is very exciting.
Things change so fast that you're learning all the time. I mean, that's part of this job, is you do learn all the time. If you ever think that you have learned everything, you will look back and see you're wrong, because it does change.
The longer that I work here, the more I truly start to realize, especially when I work with the individual ingredients and see how they get formulated, what that actually means to us for wellness, not just for animals, but for humans. I think that's very interesting to work at a company where all of that stuff doesn't go on in some black box someplace. We're actually a part of that.
Even if you're not interested specifically in the chemistry aspect of industry, you can be interested in maintenance, you can be interested in working in an office, or just quality control, which is still hands-on. That is great to come to the chemical industry because they are centered around safety. They're centered around thinking about what is best for their employees because they have to keep them safe.
A person can start out as an intern, or they can start out as a chemical operator, but really their ability to see their future is unlimited because they can move in so many different directions.
I came in as a production technician and worked my way up to laboratory technician, and then opportunity came for assistant plant manager, and I put in for it and was fortunate enough to be awarded the job.
To start off, I was working for a temporary service. It was a few months later I got brought on board for Anderson Development as a third shift operator, and from there I loved what I was doing. I mean, I wanted to progress, and I kept hearing they like to promote within, so I took advantage of it.
This is not just a job. This is the career for you. This is, if you want something to work in a place where you can be successful and keep growing, we do have the tools, We do have the knowledge.
The team that I work with has been more than welcoming, supportive, share all their knowledge they can with me to help me do my job better, and I've never felt more safe and secure in a workplace.
When I hired in here, the first 3 days, I didn't get to touch anything, do anything. It was learning procedures and the chemicals that we work with and how we do it, and it was really centered around safety. There has to be a lot of trust. We've developed a friendship outside of work. So having that vested interest in a friendship, not only just as a coworker, but as friends, you have a vested interest in this person coming in, doing good quality work, and going home at the end of the day the same way that they come in, because you know this person's wife, kids. That truly makes it personal, and so you take other people's safety on a personal level.
I started at the entry-level position as a chemical operator. Got a position as a shift supervisor, so basically just running a shift across the entire plant. At that point in time, Bacher approached me about my education.
So I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in supply chain and logistics. Bacher has supported me 100% in 100% tuition reimbursement for completion of my course.
Having that tuition reimbursement available is something that I couldn't pass up. It's something that not all companies are able to provide to employees, basically full tuition reimbursement. You pass your classes, they pay for your courses.
We have a lot of great colleges here in the county. Adrian College, Siena Heights, Jackson College, that really helps support the community. And if you want to further your education, you don't have to leave the county. You don't have to go to Michigan State or anything else. You can stay here, and there's plenty of opportunities for you to work within a company and build within that company and kind of grow within that company. And
if you have the ambition, if you have the wherewithal, do what you got to do. Get your skills up, get your chops, come to work here. And even if you don't have that, you can get trained from within, and there's all kinds of opportunity for advancement. We're growing fast, and we're not stopping anytime soon. If you can dream it, if you can think it, you can probably do it here.
If you want to help making a difference in the world, working within the chemical industry is definitely one of the best areas you could be at. You're transforming not only products, but other people's lives.
We're not here just to be here for this quarter. We've got to be sustainable over the long term. We want to be here for 200 years, for 1,000 years. And the only way you're going to do that, you got to take care of people. You got to make money. You got to take care of the planet. If you don't do all three, you won't be here for the long term.
Chemistry is vital to understanding everything around us. It's in everything, your shampoo, deodorant, sunscreen. Those are all formulations that were developed through chemistry. So this is definitely a good industry to go in if you want to make a difference.
I believe that the future is bright and only getting brighter here in Lenawee County.
Okay, that is the video from our chemical industry collaborative, and we've got a couple other videos that are in the works that'll be released soon, hopefully. And again, promoting career paths in the chemical industry, and then opportunities for women in the chemical industry. So more to come on that. So we'll have some more videos coming up. So to next, we'd like to introduce the representatives from the company, have them talk a little bit about their companies and themselves and how they got to where they are in the chemical industry. We'll start with Mark Kramer.
Hi, everybody. So my name's Mark Kramer. I'm the president and CEO of Anderson Development Company. And a lot of people really maybe haven't heard our name, but we're located in Adrian, Michigan. We're over near the fairgrounds, and we are a specialty chemicals manufacturer. We were founded in 1966 by Dr. Anderson. He was actually one of the almost like a bumblebee pollinating this industry in the county, where he worked at what's now become is really ran for Stauffer, ran what's now become Evonik Silbon. Then he went and worked for Mr. Stauffer and built the site that's now Bacher Silicones. And then he decided, hey, I'm tired of working for the man. I want to go ahead and start my own company. And that's what he did, and built us from the ground up. And so we've been in operation over 50 years here. And the most people, a lot of people haven't heard of our company, but I guarantee that you've either seen our products, used our products, or something that our products help to create. If you look at the aluminum wheels on a car, we make the resin for those wheels, and it's a pretty neat product because it's solvent free, it's an emission free coating, so you're not polluting the environment. They believe it cuts the carbon footprint of protecting that wheel by somewhere like 40 to 60%. And it's also the most economical product that's in terms of how you can protect that wheel. We make that material here. We sell that material all over the world. We would sell that to a paint company like a PPG or an Axalta or Axo Nobel. If we sell that to them, they would formulate that into a coating. They would sell that to a wheel company. The wheel company uses it on the wheels to protect it. And then those wheels go on to all the major car manufacturers. We make that material here, and we sell that all over the world. We're competitive in the U.S. We're competitive in Europe. We're even competitive in China. It's one of those things. People, believe it or not, things are actually made here, and we can be competitive across the world. Another material we make that you probably have seen is if you've seen, like, if you get a pair of roller blades or roller skates, skateboard wheels. The material, which is like the wheel part, this kind of the soft rubbery part, that's actually a material called polyurethane, and that material is used because it's tougher, it's more durable, and so it holds up better. Could also be used for a fork truck tire, could be used for farming equipment, could even be used as like a major car company that like they have a big metal rack where you take the engine, the engine from an engine assembly plant to a car plant. Our material is used to cushion the engines and transmissions as that gets transported all over the countryside before it goes to a final car assembly plant. So our products, we're even in cell phones, where there's probably like a nanogram of our material that makes that cell phone function, where it's used in conjunction with another material from Evonik to actually make that layer of a chip, and it maybe is used on the polysilicon base wafer that's made by Wacker. And so the challenge with our industry is that probably everyone's used our products, but you don't necessarily see our name on the store shelf that goes along it, or that goes with it. But for our materials, you can't make any of those products. You can't make that cell phone. You can't make that roller skate wheel without the materials that we make. So it's a pretty wide range of customers. That's one of the things about us that makes us a lot more stable. We're not just the car industry. We're not just the semiconductor industry, not just the sporting goods industry. We're spread out across all of them, which is one of the reasons where we don't tend to have the ups and downs like you see sometimes in the car industry, where the market's down, then what do we do? So we tend to be a little different in that respect. We're also a little different in that respect in that what we do is pretty unique. We're in the business of chemistry. That doesn't mean you have to like to play around with beakers or draw molecule structures, because there are all kinds of roles in our companies. But we tend to be more stable because we tend to have to teach people what we do. It's very specialized. So once we invest that much into our people, whether that's on the job training, whether that's we're paying for someone to get a college degree, where they can go out there and use that, but we grow with us. But then we tend to not to want to lay people off either. So we tend to be a lot more stable with that in that respect. For me personally, I went to school for a chemical engineering degree. I worked for a bunch of big companies and got a little frustrated that they tend to not do some things that are so smart for the long term. And that's part of the reason I came to Anderson Development Company. We've got all of our functions here. I came in as an engineer, worked in the operations side, worked on improving the processes, went from there to starting to lead people, went from there to had a chance to go over in sales, and found out that, believe it or not, being in sales is not just bringing the donuts. It's really about solving problems for customers. Found out I could do that and did a fairly good job of that, and then was able to get into a broader management role. So it's one of the situations where we do tend to want to try to promote people from within, where we've got a ton of folks that even if they come in as on the floor as a chemical operator, to a supervisor, from there to a QC, into the QC department, or into as a quality supervisor to a quality manager. we want to invest in our people, and we want to create, it's not just a job. We want some people to find a career with us that you can help us grow and where we can do great things together.
All right, thanks, Mark. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about Wacker Chemical?
Will do. Glad to. Glad to be part of Manufacturing Day. I think it's very important for our industry to represent all the different opportunities that we have. But as far as Wacker goes, we are a German-owned company that started in 1914 in Berghausen, Germany. Mark's already kind of identified it. We predate Anderson Development by 2 years. We started in the United States here in Adrian in 1964. Been operating ever since. This is the corporate headquarters in Adrian, Michigan, and we have roughly 550 employees that call Michigan home, and they run the gamut in terms of chemical operators, warehouse folks, maintenance mechanics, apprentices, chemists, lab techs, corporate accounting, HR, marketing, sales. You name the career, we probably have it here. So we've been producing silicone fluids and silicone hard rubber products for all 57 years. Our products go into so many different things. Mark Anderson already talked about it. You don't necessarily see our name on any of the products, but I'll start naming off some of the products where we're at, and you will know us. Pantene hair shampoo, L'Oreal Cosmetics, Revlon, Lycra and spandex use silicone fluid to help the high-speed spinning that creates that stretchy fabric. We're in Cottonelle tissues and puffs with lotion. We make your tires shiny and your car shiny as well with Armor All and Meguiar's. We're part of those products. Gorilla Glue is a big customer of ours, and especially if you look at the clear Gorilla Glue, that's a major product that we support. Lots of caulks and adhesives that are used in the construction industry. We also get into automotive. Mark talked about that as well. About 7 to 8 pounds of silicone products are in automotive. It could be in the electronic component, it could be dashboard, it could be hanging part of the infrastructure, insulation to keep the road noise down, just a whole host of different things. Turbo hoses, turbocharger hoses, spark plug boots, all those kind of silicone rubber things, are made with product that comes right out of Adrian. We're also in the cleaning market. We're in clothes detergents. We do a lot of anti-foam. We're in Pledge, so lots of different things. You also probably have seen bakeware that is molded with silicone molds to create fancy cakes and cupcakes and that kind of stuff. Dentists use silicone molds to take impressions. Artists use silicone molds to create repetitive images of their jewelry and their artwork that they create. Architectural moldings can be formed using silicone molds as well. Silicone fluids are also used in concrete waterproofing. You might know one of our major customers, if you will, is Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. The famous statue. A number of years ago, it was taken apart. It was starting to deteriorate because concrete, is out in the open. But they took it apart and they treated the hands and the arms and the face with Wacker concrete protectant, and they reestablished the statue. So those are the kind of the uses that we have. As far as my role here, I am the HR director. I get involved with community outreach, certainly a lot of hiring. I'm active with the community in a lot of different ways, but we're looking for just a wide variety of folks. And as Mark said, we're going to teach you. We are going to teach you. We're going to provide educational assistance to you. We'll provide lots of on-the-job training. What we're looking for is energy and passion and a willingness to learn. So welcome to Manufacturing Day. Consider the chemical industry. We have some great companies here that provide lots of opportunities to grow and develop and take care of your family. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And again, we're still waiting for Mark Hillard of Evonik Soban to log in. He's having some internet issues. But we'll go on to Shannon Rios with W2 Fuel. Shannon, tell us a little bit about W2 Fuel and tell us how you got employed with W2 Fuel.
I am the accountant here at W2 Fuel. I have only been here since July. We have been in Adrian, Michigan since 2011, and we also have a plant in Crawfordsville, Iowa. We're a leader in the renewable bio-based refining business. W2 Fuel's innovations have led to advances in the biorefining industry that allow us to work closely with our customers and deliver a high-quality, environmentally responsible product on time and within spec. We produce biodiesel, glycerin, and other bio-based chemicals and lubricants. Some of our major customers are truck stops and gas stations like Travel America, BP, Musket, Loves, and BPF. I'm glad to be here representing W2 Fuel today. It's been really interesting hearing about some of the other companies and what they do too.
Very good, very good. And again, I just got an email from Mark that keeps getting kicked out. So we will just kind of move on, and if he can join us, we'll drop back and let him talk about his company and what they do in Weston, Michigan. Let's start with some questions. I've got a list of questions, and again, if anybody has questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and try to incorporate those if we run out of questions to ask. So tell me, let's start with Mark Kramer. What types of job postings or hiring needs do you currently have?
It's really a pretty wide range of roles. I think it's pretty representative of us as a company and the different types of roles, where we're looking to hire people who really to run the plant. And this is not probably, you don't need to like to play around with stuff in beakers. This is large scale manufacturing, where it's a lot of computer control type operations. It's tends to be people who like to work with their hands and like to be out moving around getting stuff done. We're looking for people for maintenance mechanics, which would be, and we tend to find that as people with good mechanical skills, we'll teach you the specific kinds of equipment we have, but we tend to hire a lot of people who have been in some of the auto mechanics programs, or someone who just has that knack for fixing things, or the curiosity, if you take it apart, what makes it work. We're hiring engineers, typically mostly chemical engineers, and they're, people call them the kind of the glorified plumbers of the engineering world, because it's how do we make the stuff we make. We're hiring chemists, look for people who be working, this be more like a laboratory type of job or a tech service job where they're working with customers, try to figure out what are their problems, how do we solve them. Looking for someone in purchasing, where we have to buy a lot of things, and we buy materials from all over the world, and we send them and sell them all over the world. And so it's a and this could maybe somebody with a curiosity in science, but it's really a business. This is someone who likes to haggle over pricing and work through the details. Well, this material, okay, it's maybe on California. How do we actually get it here? And how do we get it here on time? How do we make sure that all the material flows the way it flows? Looking for somebody in HR, it's people make the world go round. People are what makes it all happen. When we do the amount of training that we do, we need to take care of our people. We need to help teach them. We need to get them the right benefits. We tend to have, as an industry, have better benefits than a lot of other industries, because we are trying to take care of our people for the long term. The challenge is it's more work. Looks like a question here about entry-level positions open for a high school grad. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Where a lot of the roles they come in terms of entry level is either a chemical operator, probably is a high school grad. And then we'll see some people who want to just keep doing that and really making the things we make. Or maybe they want to go on and end up going to school at night, or depending on if you work second or third shift, go during the day. And where we've got a lot of folks who will come along and they'll get a degree in business or a degree in the sciences to go on for other types of roles within the company. So definitely. And I think that probably fits for all the other companies too, where I heard Mike mention this morning they're looking for quite a few people in those type of entry level roles to really make the stuff that we make.
Okay, and Shannon, why don't you talk about your W-2 fuel? And I'm not sure you have any current openings in Adrian, but you do in Iowa, and it's probably the same types of positions. So what type of entry-level positions do you usually hire for?
We hire for all kinds of positions, production technicians, which are on the floor in the plant, maintenance technicians, QA lab techs, and several administrative positions, accountants, HR, logistics, those sort of positions. And we do hire entry level and we do train, and we look for all sorts of education opportunities.
And then Mike.
Sure. What Shannon and Mark have talked about, we certainly have those opportunities as well. Chemical operators, absolutely. We're looking for high school graduates. Love folks that have been part of teams and part of bands, part of that kind of environment. Energy and passion is what we look for. We're going to teach you. The thing that sets us apart as an industry, most of us do not have assembly lines. We may have assembly line and packaging areas and that kind of stuff, but we're batch processing. So you're not standing at the same station over and over and over, putting parts in a fixture and putting the next screw in it. So definitely have hired 4 people. Yeah, 4 people this year straight out of high school. So if you're interested, please check out all 5 companies, but start with Fokker first. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Not that there's any competition.
No.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. So, what I haven't heard so far, and I'm sure everyone has these, but we have marketing specialists. These typically are college graduates in business and marketing programs, shipping and receiving clerks. Even while folks are in college, we employ interns every summer. Internship has been a very big program for us over the years. COVID has knocked it down for the last 2 years. All of us have warehousing opportunities, lots of fork truck driving, mechanics and apprenticeships are common here at Fokker. So you name it, we have it. And again, you don't have to leave Lenawee County to get into corporate positions, get into leadership positions. Chemical operator positions are there for everybody.
Good deal. Can you, again, we're talking about entry-level positions for potential high school students, and I'm sure we have some high school students watching today or will be watching the recording in the future that may be interested in going to one of your companies. Can you talk about, after an entry-level position, what types of career paths could a person take if they start as in an entry-level position? Where can they go from there?
Sure. In the video, you saw a couple of Fokker employees who started out as chemical operators. And Joel Pizzagna in the video, he's moved into a shift supervisor role. Ryan Stoll went to the shift supervisor role and then became like a process engineer, what we call a process trained supervisor. And now he's leading our largest production department as a production manager. I've seen other chemical operators that have gone into the warehouse, into inventory clerk positions, into production assistants. It just, you name it, the doors will be opened. I see in the chat, if we are a high school grad, do we have to go into college to move up in the business? I would say the answer to that is depends on where you want to go. So all those positions that I talked about just now, those folks were able to move into those positions without a college degree. The higher level, that production manager position is going to require a degree, but at Vocker, we provide tuition reimbursement, a lot of assistance, and it may not be the right time to get into college right now, but it might be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. Whenever you're ready, that tuition assistance program is there to help. And but lots of different positions that do not require a college degree. Our apprenticeship is kind of the pathway to significant skilled trades earnings. We typically have 2 apprentices that are hired out of our chemical operator program, and so again, another different opportunity for careers.
So anybody else want to chime in on career path opportunities? Where can you go from an entry level position? Shannon? Mark?
Happy to. I think it's similar what Mike said. It's a pretty similar situation where there are a pretty wide range of career paths that you go. It really kind of depends on your interest and what you like, what you find. Like some of the people similar in the video, where Joe Flores was one of the guys who was in the video. Started out as a chemical operator, went from there and he ended up going over into shipping and receiving, became shipping and receiving supervisor, and then from there went to over into a shift supervisor. You don't necessarily need a college degree, but it really depends on the role and the skills that you need. For some roles, it's really about getting those skills or getting that knowledge. Some places, some things, reality is the only workplace you're going to get that is through some sort of college degree. Other roles, you don't need that. In Joe's case, he chose along the way to go back to school. He wasn't ready for school, ready for college coming out of high school, but then he chose to go back along the way and get a bachelor's degree. We have other folks. One guy that comes to mind is our quality manager. Started as a chemical operator and went from there into a QC technician, where we're checking the quality of our products. Went from there to a QC supervisor role. Went from there to the quality manager role. Where you go really depends on what your interest. For me personally, I started as an engineer. I never would have thought that I would have wanted to try out sales or that I would like it. I always like, why would I want to be a salesperson? And one of the things we find again and again is that if you're open to different types of things, because we do have all the functions here, you get to see a lot more different things. And people tend to find that, boy, after a while, watch what somebody else, they're doing this and they're working with customers and they're actually solving problems for customers. That's kind of neat. And then the question is for you, really, how do I get the skills that I need to go into that type of role? In some cases, there are things you can learn on the job. Other cases, you may need to go back and get a little bit more education in one area or another. But there's no set formula that the only way you will get to this role is one path. It's kind of a neat situation. It's our environmental manager was a zoology major. She did go to college, but she went to school for zoology and ended up on the environmental side and does an amazing job. I never would have made the connection between the two. But similar to what Mike said a couple times is, if we're looking for people with the passion, with the willingness, the interest to learn, the curiosity, we learn every day. And sometimes it's by doing it, and other times it's through education. And the beauty is if people do go back to school, we can support that education in with things like tuition reimbursement to help them get to where they want to go.
Shannon, how about yourself for W-2?
Yep, just like the other 2 companies, we promote from within quite a bit. And sometimes it's not always a straight line. Like our safety manager, he started out as a production technician, so he was on the floor, and now he's our safety manager. Our 2 plant managers are managers of each plant. They both started out as production technicians, and within 3 to 4 years, they both became plant managers.
Not bad, not bad. For your companies, do you offer work-based learning opportunities, internships, co-ops, those types of things?
Absolutely. It's very internships and co-ops are very common. Tend to be more so in the technical fields as a chemist or as an engineer, but we are starting to have been doing more. We have someone actually starting I think in about 2 weeks here in an HR role as an internship. We've had it in the environmental and safety side. I can tell you from my experience when I was in school, that was I was in a cooperative education program where I worked and actually worked at different industrial sites. It was an amazing learning experience for me, and I would definitely recommend it for everyone. You can learn a lot in school, but some of the things you learn by doing, and there's some things that people in industry do a little differently. And when you put that together with more classroom-based learning, I think you end up as a very rounded, with a more rounded background. And frankly, you're a pretty attractive candidate when someone's looking to hire somebody. It is something we look for.
So with internships from college, I'm pretty sure all of you would offer that. Do you offer any work-based learning for a high school student that may be 17?
We do not, in part because of some of the equipment that we have, but we are very open to tours on site. COVID has kind of put a damper on that a little bit, but
Sure.
I've had high school classes from Sand Creek and Adrian and Tecumseh on site, taking a tour. So not quite a shadowing, but because of the equipment and the age of most of the high school students, at Vaca, we're not able to do that. Internships, like Mark says, certainly in operations, but also in our corporate functions. We've had HR interns, we've had marketing, accounting, you name it. We've had interns there. For the teachers on the call, for the counselors on the call, we also are very interested in the externships, the summer externship program, where teachers and counselors can get a bird's eye view of what it looks like in the manufacturing realm. So,
Yeah, to that point, Mike, that's a great point. That's a program that we're trying to grow. And if any teachers out there listening now or listening to the recorded version in the future want information, they can either contact me or contact Lenawee Now. Both are working on putting that together. It's a great opportunity for teachers to get out in industry and be able to relate directly what goes on in industry back into the classroom. Tell me about, if I was a high school grad, what would I do to prepare for an interview for your companies? What types of things should I do to prepare for the interview? Shannon, let's start with you.
Okay. I would give a high school grad wanting to interview at our company the same advice I would give anybody interviewing anywhere, which would be research the industry as well as the company, the position, come with questions so that we could not only determine if you're the right fit for us, but you can determine if we're the right fit for you. Be open and honest about your experience, strengths, and any lack of experience you might have. And don't be afraid to share outside hobbies. I feel like sometimes your outside hobbies can provide experience that you wouldn't share on your resume.
Mark, how about you?
I would agree with everything Shannon said. She put it pretty well. Most of the roles we're hiring for, we're not hiring someone who necessarily has the experience. We'll teach that, but you need to show the interest, the curiosity, learn about the company a little bit as to what we're doing, why we're here, so that you can find out about are we the right fit for you. I very much agree that it's an interviewing opportunity is a two-way street. we're obviously assessing if you're right for us, but we would want you to assess whether we're right for you, because we want this to be a long-term relationship. We don't look to hire people just for 6 months. We're looking for somebody who wants to have a career with us. So that curiosity, that passion, let it shine through. I agree also about the other skills and hobbies. We're as someone who's coming in as a process technician or chemical operator, it's communication, it's teamwork, it's maybe basic mechanical skills. And a lot of the questions that I would ask when I was in a more operational role was just, what do you like to do with your hands? Have you ever worked? What's the most complicated? Maybe working with your family on a kitchen remodeling project, or trying changing the brakes on a car. Some of those basic things. If you've got that same kind of curiosity and interest, you bring them into our workplace. We love that. Team work. One of the things to kind of describe what we do is a little bit is it's kind of like baking a cake, except our cakes take maybe 5 days to make or 3 days to make. And so one person may be responsible for getting the ingredients out. The next person's responsible for mixing them together. The next person turns the oven on, sets at the right temperature. The next person puts the cake in the oven. The next person maybe just watches it. The next person checks it, pulls it out. And the last person frosts it. So you can imagine where doing something like that, having communication between the different people along the chain of doing it is really important. The teamwork, because we're all working together to make that same cake that took 3 days. But if we don't work together, then we're not gonna make a cake that's edible. And so if we're people who have, whether it's team sports or whether it's in the band or on the robotics team, whatever that might be, those same skills that you learn as a team player, we love that. We love to see that.
And Mike, go ahead and chime in on that, and then we've got a question from the audience.
Yeah, again, everything that Shannon and Mark have said, absolutely 100% behind as well. A couple of just small things that what a person should do to prepare for a job interview. Check social media. We're all active. We have Facebook pages. We have YouTube videos out there. Get to know a little bit about each company and the products that we produce. That shows that you're willing to invest. Those are the kind of folks that we really like to see. And I'm a little bit old school in terms of preparing for it. Look sharp, be sharp. I'll tell you a little story. We're doing chemical operator interviews by Zoom calls, and there was an individual who basically did a Zoom call from their sofa, and they were just laid back in the sofa holding the cell phone like this. I swear they had their pajamas on. That comes across. So look sharp, be sharp. Have that energy and passion. Do a little bit of homework, and be excited and committed to be ready to join some world-class companies here in Lenawee County. The chemical manufacturers all offer great opportunities, and you should be prepared to invest your time and money into that interview process and then in the work process. So.
All right, and one question that came in from the audience: if a high school grad has welding experience, is there any positions that you're in that in your facility for that? So,
Absolutely. Welding experience with people, if someone's in a maintenance mechanic type of role, welding is one of the pillars for both maintenance and for project work. We have both maintenance folks who are doing maintenance, who are fixing the equipment. We also have a project team who builds equipment. And so the welding, most of the welding we would do is mostly pipe, some structural, but we actually if someone, it kind of depends on what the experience is exactly, because pipe is a little bit different. But we actually have a instructor on staff here who can take someone who's got that basic, if it's basically horizontal, vertical, structural, and then teach that next set of skills to be able to take it to where we need it to say for pipe or for something that's more specialized. So, but definitely we do look for that skill.
Mike, you do some welding at Wacker?
Absolutely, and the point of entry would be, going into a chemical operator position and then moving into that apprenticeship. I think Anderson Development and Wacker are similar in that, our maintenance mechanics, they are involved with, building equipment, maintaining equipment, pumps and motors, piping, hydraulics. So welding is certainly part of that general skill set for all of our maintenance mechanics. Unlike automotive industry that might have very specific, they might have an electrician, they might have a welder or a millwright, a carpenter, general labor. Those are skilled trades positions in automotive. Historically, at Wacker we have an overall maintenance mechanic, so they may have a base electrical background, electrical journeyman status. They may bring a welder status. They may bring some other instrumentation, electronics, journeyman status. But at the end of the day, we're going to teach them to be a well-rounded maintenance person, including welding and other trades as well. So absolutely.
Shannon, oh, sorry. Shannon, how about you?
We don't have welders that are just welding products, but that would, like Michael said, that would fall under our maintenance technicians.
So you have maintenance techs that do
Yep.
some welding. Awesome. Okay, what are your expectations for a new hire? What am I gonna do in my first 6 months at one of your companies?
You're going to listen and learn a lot. We're not an assembly plant operation where after a couple hours you know exactly what you're doing. I think Mark talked about having a recipe for a cake. You may not make the same cake at Wacker, maybe 2 or 3 times a year, if that. So we expect you to listen, learn, show up, please show up. And be a sponge. We have some very long-term employees that we use as trainers. We have management team that also function as trainers. We're going to train you. We want that energy and passion. We want you to listen, take notes, and then be able to put it into practice.
How about Shannon? What's your expectation for a new employee?
I would say much the same as Michael. Just show up with a good attitude and a willingness to learn. And you're probably not showing up as a complete blank slate. So also be willing to lend any knowledge that you may have.
Mark?
I think Mike and Shannon put it pretty well. It's that first 6 to 9 months is really learning. And it's the curiosity is to learn, what do we do? Why do we do it? How do we do it? We do break things up. So we do want to get people out working and learning, but our industry is not, if someone is interested in tightening bolt number 492 to 20 foot-pounds, 600 times a day, we are not the place to come work. It is much more diverse, and where we have to take a lot more holistic approach to training about why do we do things, how do we do them. And so someone maybe start out where we may have broken a process down to a number of different modules. So you start with one, and maybe start working and actually doing a little bit, and then kind of building on that more and more. But to really get to the point where someone is trained and certified on their first whole process, like a little sub process might take 3-4 weeks to get to the whole process. We're talking 6 to 9 months. Sure. To get to where you can really where you understand that whole process, because you do have to understand, like Mike said, is we may only make that same cake 3 times a year, and so but we make other ones in between. It's like, one day we make chocolate, the next day it's vanilla, the next day it's strawberry, and they're similar in the way that we make them, but they're different, and so to really understand that whole piece takes quite a bit of time.
We're getting towards the end here, but I did want to ask you, how has COVID affected your companies? I know some companies have pretty much shut down during a lot of the COVID era, and I don't think that's really the case with your companies. Tell me a little bit about how COVID has impacted your companies and how you've adapted.
Well, it's certainly been a roller coaster, much like anybody else. But I tell you, we've been in operation every single day throughout this whole pandemic. We have not laid off a single person throughout it all. You can imagine if we're investing that much time that we're training somebody for 6 to 9 months to run something, I don't want to lose them. So I would be crazy to go in every time the roller coaster goes up and down the hill to react to that. It's a challenge for us. On one hand, some things that we do are a lot easier because we don't have people on assembly line shoulder to shoulder tightening bolt 492 right next to each other. We tend to be a little bit more spaced out. We've really fared quite well in that in being able to keep an operation and being able to keep everything moving. The reality is our customers need the things we make. And so we're here to serve our customers. So we've got to figure out how to make it work. We've had to adapt. We've had to, the rules change, weekly, daily, whatever it might be. That it has certainly been an exercise in adaptability. But, our folks have made it happen. I'm humbled by what they have shown us that we can do and how we've been able to really grow throughout it all and, keep a strong foundation, but keep growing and end up being even stronger than we were before.
Shannon, how about W2 Fuel?
We did slow down a little bit, and we took that opportunity to work on some training and refining our processes, and we are back up to where we were before COVID now.
Mike?
Yeah, so like all businesses, we slowed down a little bit. All the chemical companies here in the county were considered essential workers by the federal government, so that gave us, an obligation to continue working to the extent that we could. It also gave us an obligation to go through some significant training, educating folks about COVID, wearing masks, sanitizing. Hand washing, equipment washing. We really did a lot in terms of training people how to safely perform their functions as an essential worker. We have rebounded extremely well. We're probably on a record-setting pace in terms of operations. COVID still continues to impact many businesses. Supply chain interruptions. You see empty shelves on the retail store shelves. We still have some of that as well. But we're going to continue to move along. Our customers really want our products. People are buying things. Lots of online shopping that, Mark Kramer says many times that, chemistry is part of 95% of all products. We're here for the long term. We've been here for a long time. So COVID's just another opportunity for us to learn and grow.
I think that's a great place to finish unless anybody has a final comment. Well, thank you for participating in Manufacturing Day this year. We've got some great companies in our community, and we love to promote them and the opportunities that they have to our school, high school students. Well, I think we've got anything from middle school on up to date. So it's a great opportunity to learn about the companies and the opportunities that they have. And hopefully someday a lot of students listening today or the recording in the future will be well employed and making great money here in Lenawee County in one of these companies. So thank you for participating, and we will see you later.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.